Good morning, dear cadets. Yesterday we have learned, in the previous session we have learned about the torque. The turning effect of force is called as torque, and we have calculated torque acting on a single particle. When a force F acts on a particle at position vector r, we calculated torque 2 vector is equal to r cross F, cross product of position vector and force vector, that is Rf sin theta. In the same manner, let us learn today angular momentum. We know linear momentum. When a particle is in linear motion, its product of mass and velocity gives us linear momentum denoted by P. If P is the linear momentum, then P is equal to mv vector. And P vector and V vector are in the same direction. This is a linear momentum. Then what is angular momentum? Angular momentum comes into picture when the particle is in rotational motion. When the particle is undergoing rotational motion, then we speak of the angular momentum. So angular momentum is the rotational analog of linear momentum. I can write this as rotational analog of linear momentum. As we speak of linear momentum for a particle of mass m moving along a straight line, in the same way we speak of angular momentum when the particle is undergoing rotational motion. That is the meaning of rotational analog of linear momentum in rotational motion is called angular momentum. Then how to define angular momentum? In rough manner, we can say momentum of a particle in rotational motion or rotational angular momentum. We can call it as rotational angular momentum. In a rough term, rotational angular momentum. Rotational momentum. We can call it as rotational momentum. So this angular momentum is also vector quantity. Now let us study what is the angular momentum of a single particle. Let us consider this is a particle whose mass is m. Consider a particle of mass m at position vector r from the origin. It is at position vector r from the origin. If mv, if p equal to mv, this is, let us suppose that this is the direction of its linear momentum. This is the direction of its linear momentum. P equal to mv is the linear momentum of the particle. Then we define angular momentum as, it is again cross product. We define angular momentum as small l. Small l is the notation for angular momentum. Small l vector is equal to r cross p. Please remember this order. You should not change the order. R cross p. So r cross p product gives us angular momentum. If this is r and this is p and extend this r, this becomes extended r. R cross p gives us angular momentum. And this angular momentum is perpendicular to both position vector as well as p vector. So if you just turn this r towards p, this gives you direction of angular momentum L vector. So with respect to origin, if this is the origin, with respect to origin if you draw, this becomes the direction of angular momentum, that is L vector. R cross p gives us L vector. So the particle will have angular momentum which is perpendicular to both r and p vectors. L vector is perpendicular to r vector and p vector. Now from this we know that r cross p can be written as r sin theta into p n cap, where n cap gives you direction of the angular momentum. N cap is the unit vector along the direction of angular momentum, and rp sin theta or r sin theta p, this gives you magnitude of angular momentum. So I will write here magnitude of angular momentum is equal to rp sin theta, and n cap is the direction of L vector. Now how to find out r sin theta? Now extend this. R sin theta can be found out using this diagram. If this is the angle here, then the same angle is going to be theta here. Then extend this. Then draw a perpendicular from here. So this, as we have studied earlier, this becomes r sin theta. So this perpendicular r sin theta into p vector, this is giving you p vector. R sin theta into p vector gives you the angular momentum. So this r sin theta is also written as r perpendicular component. So this can be written as r perpendicular into p n cap. Another option is draw perpendicular from p vector on r. If you extend this, if you draw perpendicular p on r, that becomes p sin theta. So p sin theta into r itself, p sin theta into magnitude of r itself gives you same, that is angular momentum. So this can be also written as, or angular momentum L is equal to r cross p can be also written as r p sin theta into n cap. That means r into p perpendicular. L cap is equal to, L vector is equal to r into p perpendicular, where p perpendicular is p sin theta into n cap, where p perpendicular represents p sin theta. In the same way, you can draw perpendicular from p on r. So this becomes p sin theta. This p sin theta multiplied by r, that gives you the same, that is p sin theta multiplied by r gives you same angular momentum, that is L vector. Now from this you see, if r perpendicular is, if theta is 90 degree, you can see, then the angular momentum becomes maximum. Here I can write L vector as also r into mv vector into sin theta, magnitude of mv vector into sin theta, or into n cap, or this can be also written as mvr sin theta into n cap. So the product mvr gives us the angular momentum of a particle. So for a single particle, the notation for angular momentum is small l. It is a vector quantity. For system of particles consisting of n number of particles, we take capital L, wherein we add all the L vectors, L1 vector, L2 vector, L3 vector and so on of all the particles. That gives us total angular momentum of that system of n number of particles. Okay. Now if theta is 0, if the angle between the momentum vector and the position vector, is 0, then what happens? Sin 0 becomes 0, angular momentum becomes 0. So here we can write the cases. If theta is equal to 0, that is angle between r vector and p vector. If r vector and p vector, angle between them theta is 0, then angular momentum L is 0. Second case, if velocity of a particle is 0 or momentum of particle is 0, if momentum of particle is 0, then also angular momentum is 0. Then also angular momentum is 0. So these are the cases. And if the particle is at origin, then r is equal to 0. Third case, if position vector r is 0, that is at the origin, then also angular momentum is 0. Because r, if you take it 0, then the total product becomes 0. So these are the cases of angular momentum. Then what is the SI unit of angular momentum? See here, SI unit of angular momentum can be determined using this equation R and P. P is measured in Newton second. The SI unit of linear momentum is Newton second, and SI unit of position vector is meter. So it becomes Newton meter second. Newton meter second. So the SI unit of angular momentum is Newton meter second, because the SI unit of linear momentum is Newton second. I think you got the point. Or if you write in terms of kg, in terms of units of mass, this can be also written as kg meter per second into meter. It becomes kg meter square per second. Kg meter per second. P is kg meter per second and r is meter, so it becomes kg meter square per second, which is also Newton meter second. Then what is the dimension of angular momentum? Dimension of angular momentum. This is SI unit. Dimension I will write here. Dimension of angular momentum square bracket. Kg meter square per second. That's it. M square t raised to minus 1. So once you know the mechanical units, SI units in terms of mass, length and time, it becomes very easy to write the dimensions. So this is the basic definition of angular momentum. Angular momentum of a particle is the rotational analog of linear momentum when the particle is in rotational motion. Okay. Now let us solve some problems, and then we will extend this concept of linear momentum for a system of particles later. So first we studied torque acting on a single particle when a force acts on it. Then we got torque tau equal to R cross F. In the same manner we define angular momentum. Angular momentum of a particle having mass m with velocity v at a position vector r from the axis of from the origin is given by r cross p. So L vector is equal to r cross p. Now let us solve some problems. Find the torque of a force 7I plus 3J minus 5K acting about the origin when the force acts on a particle whose position vector is r equal to I minus j plus k. So position vector r is given and force vector F is given. So given you write r vector is equal to I minus j plus k. So r components are 1 minus 1 plus 1. 1 minus 1 plus 1. These are the components of position vector. And F vector is given by 7i plus 3j minus 5k. So you can write the components of F. 7 plus 3 minus 5. Now by definition, torque acting upon torsion, torque toe is equal to R cross F, product of R and F. So you have to write the same thing once again. So there are two options. I will choose the method of determinants. So directly I will put the determinant I, J, K. Method of determinant. Then I, J, K. Now what are the components of R? First R is there. So components of R. 1 minus 1, 1. 1 minus 1, 1. Then what are the components of F? 7, 3 minus 5. 7, 3 minus 5. Now solve the problem using determinants. So one more step, if you want, I can write one more step. I minus 1 into 5. You see, you have to choose like this. Minus 1, 1, 3 minus 5. So this is I. Then next minus j into, leave this first row and second column. You are left with 1 1 7 5. 1 1 7 5 plus k. So leave the first row and third column. So you are left with 1 minus 1 7 3. 1 minus 1 7 3. Now you have to solve for this final step. That gives you result of torque. Therefore torque toe, I will continue. Torque toe is equal to I into minus 1 into minus 1. I into minus 1 into minus 1, minus 1 into 5, minus 1 into minus 5 becomes plus 5, plus 5 minus 1 into 3, minus j, I kept, okay, minus j into 1 into 5, you have to follow the order, 1 into 5, then 1 into 7, 1 into 5 is 5, minus 1 into 7 is 7. Next, I think here minus 5 is there. Minus 5. I am missing that minus 5. So 1 into 5 is minus 5. 1 into minus 5. So it becomes minus 5. And then 1 into 7. Minus 1 into 7. Correct. Plus k cap, you have to be very particular about the signs. K cap into 1 into 3, 1 into 3, minus of minus 7 into 1. 1 into 3, 3 minus of minus plus 7. Now we can simplify. This becomes 2I cap minus 12 minus of minus plus 12 j cap plus 10 k cap. So this becomes the torque acting on the particle. If you want, you can find out the magnitude. So this is the torque. Newton meter. Torque is measured in joule or Newton meter. In the same way, I will give you one more problem. We will solve one more problem on torque. Now you see, second problem. What is the torque of the force F vector equal to 2I minus 5j plus 4k acting at the position R vector equal to 3I plus 2j plus 3k. So similar problem. So I have written the form tau vector equal to r cross f. So I have written the determinant I, j, k, and I have used the components of r vector first. 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. Then I have used the components of f vector. 2 minus 5 plus 4. 2 minus 5 plus 4. 2 minus 5 plus 4. I think you can solve this problem. I am leaving it to you. Let us solve one more similar problem, that is, what is the value of linear velocity if angular velocity is 3i minus 4j plus k and the position vector is 5i minus 6j plus 6k. This is also similar problem. Only difference is you have to find the appropriate equation for finding the linear velocity. We have studied the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So we know that linear velocity v vector is equal to omega cross r. Please remember this, don't change the order. If you change the order, your answer is going to be incorrect, it is going to be wrong. Omega cross r, so that I can directly write I, j, k, I cap, j cap, k cap, and the determinants. What are the components of omega first? Omega has components 3, minus 4, 1. And what are the components of r? 5, minus 6, 6. Now I can very easily solve this. So this becomes I vector into 4 6 are minus 24, minus of minus plus 6, 6 ones are 6, minus of minus plus, minus j into, only middle term is j, minus j into, leave this row and second column. You are left with 3 6 are 18, minus 1 5 are 5, 18 minus 5. The next k cap, leave the first row and second column, first row and second column. You are left with 3 6 are minus 18, minus 5 4s are 20, minus of minus plus 20. Now we will get the result. So this becomes minus 18 I cap, 18 minus 3, 18 minus 5 is 13, plus 30, plus minus becomes minus, minus 13 j cap, and this is plus 2 k cap, plus 2 k cap. This becomes the equation for linear velocity, which is in meter per second. So you should not forget to write the particular SI unit. I think now you are quite clear about the cross product. Now I will give you two problems. You can try it yourselves. Two problems. Okay, I am now giving you two problems. These are different problems. The angle theta covered by a body in a rotational motion, angle theta covered by a body in a rotational motion is given by the equation theta equal to 6t plus 5t square plus 2t cube. Means the angular displacement theta is function of time t. Determine the value of instantaneous angular velocity. Value of instantaneous angular velocity omega and angular acceleration alpha vector at the time t equal to 2 seconds. We have done such problems for linear motion. This is problem for rotational motion. That is the only difference. And the procedure is same. So first you are write the equation of theta and then find out angular velocity. We know angular velocity omega equal to d theta by dt. That's it. Differentiate this equation with respect to time t. You will get an equation in terms of t. Okay, that gives you angular velocity, and put time t equal to 2 seconds in that. You will get instantaneous angular velocity at that time t equal to 2 seconds. Instantaneous angular velocity at time t equal to 2 seconds. Right? After getting this differentiation, you have to put the value of t equal to 2 seconds. Then For that equation which you got in terms of t, differentiate once again. We get alpha equal to d omega by dt. Differentiation of angular velocity with respect to time t. Rate of change of angular velocity gives you angular acceleration. Again you will get the equation in terms of time t. Substitute the value of t in that equation, you will get the value of angular acceleration. I think you will solve this. The procedure is differentiation. One time differentiation gives you angular velocity. Two time differentiation gives you angular acceleration. Now second problem, it's a one mark problem. Show that cross product of two parallel vectors is 0. I have already done. If you have gone through clearly, if you have gone through keenly in that video, I have already done. You can do it once again. Take one vector A and another vector B. If the angle between them is 0, then we say them as two parallel vectors. When do you say that two vectors are parallel? When they are parallel to each other, the angle between them is 0. Then put the condition of cross product, you will get the result 0. I think you will do this. In the next video, we will discuss about the torque acting on a system of particles and angular momentum of a system of particles and the relation between them. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.